Welcome to Woofs and Whispers, your favorite doggy podcast.
Great to be here.
Okay, so let's jump right in. You've decided, finally, you're getting a dog. Your first dog. It's huge.
Oh, absolutely massive, life-changing.
And the second you tell anyone, what's the first piece of advice you hear? Like, almost universally.
Get a small dog every time. Start small, it's easier.
Exactly. It's the default. Like, you have to start small. But
Right.
why? Is that really always the best advice for everyone?
Well, it comes from a logical place, I suppose. People think small equals manageable. Less intimidating, maybe?
Yeah, less space, less food, maybe easier to handle if they pull on the leash or jump up, those sorts of things.
Right. That's the perception. Lower risk, maybe.
Yeah.
Simpler entry point into, the whole dog ownership thing.
But what if your heart isn't set on a small dog? What if you've always pictured yourself with, like, a big, goofy golden retriever or even something bigger?
See, that's where it gets interesting. Because that standard advice might actually steer you away from a dog that could be a fantastic fit, even for a first-timer.
Okay, so today we're going to dig into that. We're exploring why, maybe, just maybe, a bigger dog could be a great choice for a first-time owner. We're looking beyond those common assumptions.
And we're going to be really honest about it. It's not just saying, go get a big dog. It's about understanding what that really involves. The commitment is different.
Definitely. It's not just about the good stuff, the gentle giant image. It's about the whole picture.
So let's challenge that start small idea. What are the arguments for considering a larger breed first time around?
Well, often you hear about their temperaments, right? That reputation for being loyal, super affectionate.
Just that gentle giant thing again. Many larger breeds are known for being quite stable, quite calm, predictable even.
Which, honestly, for a first-time owner who's maybe a bit nervous, that predictability could be huge.
It really could. Think about it, you're learning everything from scratch. House training, walking, socializing. Having a dog with a naturally steady, less reactive temperament might actually make your learning curve feel less steep.
Interesting point. So while the size might seem daunting physically, the emotional or temperamental stability could be a real plus.
Potentially, yes. It's not about size being easy, but about the type of personality. A calm, steady big dog might, in some ways, be less stressful day to day than a, say, very high-strung, anxious small dog that needs really specific handling.
Okay. So loyalty, affection, stable temperaments. That sounds pretty appealing.
It does. Big dogs often form incredibly strong bonds with their families. They want to be with their people.
There's always a but, isn't there?
There is, and it's a big one, literally, the big commitment. This isn't something to gloss over.
Right. So what are the key things that get amplified when you go large? First one's obvious, I guess.
Space. Yeah, simple physics. A bigger body needs more room.
Room to sleep, room to turn around without knocking everything over.
Exactly. Room to just exist comfortably.
Hmm.
While a tiny dog might be fine in a studio apartment, a Newfoundland probably isn't going to thrive in the same space without a lot of extra effort from the owner.
A yard helps, presumably.
Ideally, yes. Or at least easy access to large outdoor spaces for exercise and, well, zoomies.
Okay. Space. What's next? Something maybe less obvious until the bills arrive.
Yes. Lifetime costs. This is critical. Vet care, food, grooming.
Yeah.
It all scales up.
Significantly. Medication dosages are higher, potential surgeries might be more complex, or just require more anesthesia.
Preventatives cost more, food bags are bigger, and disappear faster. It's an ongoing financial commitment that you absolutely have to factor in for, 10, 12, maybe more years.
That's a huge point for a first-timer. It's not just the adoption fee, it's the long haul.
Precisely. And the third big commitment area.
This one seems crucial given the size. Training.
Essential. Non-negotiable, really, especially for large and giant breeds.
Why? All dogs need training.
They do. But with a large dog, it's not just about good manners. It's about safety and basic manageability. A 10-pound dog jumping up is annoying. A 100-pound dog jumping up can injure someone.
Right, or pulling on the leash could pull you right off your feet.
Easily.
Yeah.
So training things like loose leash walking, not jumping, weighted doors, a solid recall. These aren't just nice to haves. They're fundamental for living safely and harmoniously with a large, powerful animal.
Especially, I guess, if you're still learning how to be a dog owner yourself.
Exactly. You need that control, that communication pathway that good training establishes.
And there was a really important point related to this about kids, wasn't there?
Yes, a crucial safety note. Supervision around children is vital with any dog, regardless of size or breed. Absolutely vital.
Because kids do things. They pull ears, tails, try to ride the dog like a pony.
Things that can agitate any dog. But the potential consequences of a negative reaction are just physically greater with a larger, stronger dog. Even an accidental nip or a warning snap.
So it's about teaching kids respectful boundaries and always supervising, no matter how good the dog is reputed to be.
Always. Responsible ownership applies across the board, but the stakes feel higher with size.
Okay, so it's this balance. Potentially wonderful temperaments, calm, loyal, affectionate, but paired with these unavoidable, significant commitments. Space, higher lifetime costs, and the absolute necessity of consistent, effective training.
That's the picture. You get the potential for that amazing, gentle, giant bond, but you have to be prepared to meet the very real demands that come with the package.
It's not just about picking a pretty face or a cool-sounding breed. It's about honestly looking at your life, your resources, your willingness to put in the work.
100%. It's a lifestyle assessment.
So let's get into the specifics. Which large or giant breeds are sometimes suggested as being potentially good fits for first-time owners who are ready for that commitment?
Okay, let's look at some of the breeds often mentioned in this context. First up, one that often comes with a strong recommendation, almost an opinion really, as maybe the best option if you're specifically looking for a giant breed.
Ooh, intriguing. Which one's that?
The St. Bernard.
Ah, the classic nanny dog image. Beethoven.
Exactly. And they are often highlighted for being incredibly gentle and friendly. Really positioned as a top-tier family dog, especially good with children, despite that immense size.
Okay, so what makes them stand out trait-wise for a potential novice owner, beyond just being big and fluffy?
Well, first, the gentle and loving nature is emphasized. They're described as deeply affectionate, wanting to be right in the middle of the family. Loyal, protective.
Protective how? Like a guard dog.
Less guard dog and more watchful presence. Their protectiveness is noted as generally not being overly aggressive. It's more about their size being a deterrent and their loyalty to their family. They're usually excellent with kids and other pets because of this.
So imposing but not inherently looking for trouble makes sense. What else?
Their calm disposition, despite the size, they're often quite laid back indoors, happy to lounge around.
Really? Not bouncing off the walls.
Generally not, no. They definitely enjoy walks and playtime when offered, but they're not typically hyperactives, more moderate energy level, which can be easier to manage daily.
That's good to know. A giant dog doesn't automatically mean hours of sprinting every day.
Not always, no. Then there's that protective instinct. Again, their size is a deterrent, making them good watchdogs in a family setting just by being there.
And finally, patience.
Immense patience. They're renowned for it, tolerant of the accidental bumps and clumsy interactions that happen with kids. That gentle giant descriptor really fits here. They can handle a bit of rough and tumble within reason, obviously.
So incredibly patient, calm, loving, protective without being aggressive sounds amazing. What's the catch? Because there has to be one with a dog that big.
The catch is exactly that,
Yeah.
the size. They're the ultimate family dog for those who can handle their size and lifetime costs. Vet care, food, and drool, let's be honest.
Ah, yes, the drool. A significant factor for some.
And just the sheer space they occupy. So temperamentally, potentially wonderful for a prepared novice family, logistically and financially, very significant undertaking.
Okay, St. Bernard. Gentle giant potential requires giant commitment. Got it. Moving down slightly in size, maybe. The quintessential family dog.
The golden retriever, often called the perfect breed for first-timers, and for good reason.
Why are they so highly recommended?
It boils down to that incredibly friendly, outgoing nature. They generally love everyone. Plus, moderate energy levels, they need exercise, but not an extreme amount.
Like daily walks, maybe some fetch.
Exactly. And crucially, they are incredibly eager to please. This makes a big difference for training.
Easier to teach because they want to learn and make you happy.
Pretty much. They're highly intelligent, and that eagerness to cooperate smooths out the learning process for a first-time owner. They're also generally seen as very adaptable to different family lifestyles as long as their core needs are met.
And those needs include?
Companionship is huge. They need to be with their people. They don't do well left alone for very long periods or isolated in the yard. They need to be part of the family's activities.
Okay, makes sense. What about the practical stuff, that beautiful golden coat?
Needs attention. Moderate grooming required. Regular brushing is key to manage the shedding and prevent matting. Maybe not a full hour every single day, but consistent brushing several times a week.
And shedding. They do shed, right? A lot.
Yes. Let's be crystal clear.
Yeah.
Golden retrievers are not low-shedding dogs. You will find hair everywhere. Be prepared.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, Goldens. Super friendly, trainable, moderate needs, great family dogs, but need companionship and prepare for tumbleweeds of fur.
That's a pretty good summary.
All right, next up, another one often called a gentle giant, those beautiful tricolor coats.
The Bernese Mountain Dog. Another fantastic large breed often recommended for first-time pet parents.
Similar gentle giant vibe.
Very much so. Known for a generally calm demeanor, excellent with kids, they fit that profile well.
But still need training, even if calm.
Absolutely. Especially managing excitement.
Yeah.
A big, happy, bouncy Bernese needs to learn not to accidentally knock people over. Temperament is the foundation. Training is the structure you build on it.
Gotcha. And they bond strongly with families, too.
Very much so. Affectionate, loyal, form deep connections. They want to be involved.
Exercise needs, similar to the Golden.
Yes. Moderate daily exercise is the recommendation. Walks, playtime, maybe hiking if you're into that. They enjoy being active but aren't usually overly demanding.
Okay, the coat looks substantial. Grooming commitment.
This is a big one for Bernese. That thick, long coat needs regular grooming. Daily brushing is often recommended to prevent mats and manage shedding.
Daily brushing, that's a real-time commitment.
It is. Something a potential owner needs to be genuinely prepared for. It's part of the package with this breed.
And living situation, do they need a huge estate?
A yard is definitely a plus. They enjoy spending time outdoors, but they also love relaxing inside with the family. They're not strictly outdoor dogs. They need that connection. So access to outdoor space is ideal, but they're indoor companions too.
So Bernese, calm, loyal, great with kids, moderate exercise, but big grooming commitment, ideally needs a yard.
You've got it. The grooming is probably the biggest daily demand compared to, say, a Golden.
Okay, moving on. What about the ones who love water? The big, black, fluffy ones.
Ah, the Newfoundland or Newfie. Affectionately known, gentle giants again, famous for that sweet temperament, and yes, their love of water.
Suitable for first-timers.
Definitely presented as an excellent choice if you have the space and resources for their considerable size. Very well suited for families with children. Patient and protective are key descriptors used.
That patience theme keeps coming up for the family-friendly giants.
It seems crucial for that gentle giant label. Newfies are described as very affectionate, forming strong bonds. And that water affinity is real. They're natural swimmers. Bred for water rescue, they even have webbed feet.
Wow, webbed feet. Does that mean they need tons of exercise, swimming constantly?
Not necessarily high energy. Moderate is the word used again. They enjoy walks and swimming, absolutely. But they're not typically described as overly energetic. Good for owners wanting moderate activity levels.
Okay, the coat. Looks like another big grooming job.
Yes, that thick double coat requires regular grooming to prevent matting. It's dense.
It's shedding. Gotta be a lot, right?
Well, this is interesting. While you'd expect it, and most Newfie owners would likely agree they shed, the information we're drawing from actually notes their low-shedding nature can be a bonus.
Really? Low shedding. That seems counterintuitive for such a fluffy dog, especially after the golden retriever warning.
It does seem inconsistent with general knowledge, but that's what this particular perspective states. Perhaps it's relative to other giant double-coated breeds, or maybe just an unusual take. We have to report what's presented.
Okay, noted. So according to this perspective, Newfies are gentle, loving water dogs, moderate energy, need space and grooming, and surprisingly low shedding is mentioned as a potential plus.
Correct. That's the profile presented here. Big, sweet, needs grooming, loves water.
All right, let's talk about maybe the tallest gentle giant.
The Great Dane, the Apollo of dogs. Often called gentle giants, very affectionate, make wonderful pets despite that really imposing size.
They do look intimidating, but gentle inside.
That's the reputation highlighted. A key difference from some others, though. Grooming.
Easier.
Harder.
Much easier, apparently. Low shedding, short hair, easy to maintain, which is a big plus for a giant breed.
Wow, low shedding and easy grooming on a giant. It's a unique combo. What about space? They must need a mansion, right?
And here's the other surprise. They're described as being surprisingly good even for smaller apartments.
Get out. A Great Dane in an apartment.
Provided, and this is the crucial part, provided they get regular, sufficient exercise, walks, runs, time at a park, they need to stretch those long legs outdoors.
So they might be couch potatoes indoors, but only if they get their outdoor exercise needs met rigorously.
Exactly. They need that outlet. And like all the others, proper training is essential because of their size. Need to ensure good behavior, make sure they're not accidentally bowling people over.
So, Great Danes, gentle giants, low grooming, surprisingly adaptable to smaller homes if exercise needs are strictly met, and require thorough training for size management.
That captures the essence, a unique combination of traits. Okay, now, for a breed maybe less commonly thought of for first-timers, often seen in working roles, German Shepherds.
Yes, German Shepherds, highlighted as one of the most intelligent breeds, known for versatility and loyalty.
But are they good for first-time owners? They seem intense.
The key phrase used is, good choice if you are willing to invest time in training and exercise. That willing to invest signals a higher level of commitment.
More than just moderate exercise.
Definitely. They're described as having very high needs. They require a lot of exercise and, crucially, mental stimulation.
Mental stimulation.
Right.
Like puzzle toys, training games.
Yes, tasks, learning, challenges. They need a job to do, essentially. Even if that job is complex training or dog sports, they thrive on engagement.
Okay, so not a dog for a casual owner.
Not typically, no. They have a natural protective instinct, make great guard dogs, but you must meet those high energy and mental needs to prevent boredom and potential behavioral issues. They're described as perfect for someone who loves outdoor adventures, active families, or individuals.
So, German Shepherd. Highly intelligent, loyal, protective, but requires a major commitment to high levels of physical exercise and mental stimulation. Suitability for a novice hinges entirely on that owner's active lifestyle and dedication.
Precisely. A fantastic dog in the right, very active, experienced, or highly committed hands.
Okay, last one on this specific list. A rarer breed, known for its height.
The Irish Wolfhound,
Rare.
one of the tallest breeds out there. Described as rare, but with a gentle soul. Fantastic companions if you appreciate their unique look and very kind nature.
Gentle giant vibe again. Good with families.
Yes, highlighted as being gentle with small children and other pets. Fits that mold of a calm giant temperament.
Exercise and grooming, they're huge.
Exercise is listed as moderate daily needs, similar to Goldens or Bernese. And grooming. Surprisingly, their short coats are mentioned as making grooming easier, more like the Great Dane.
Moderate exercise and easy grooming. That sounds pretty good for such a statuesque dog. Any catches?
Yes. An important health note is included. They may have some health issues due to their size. This is common in giant breeds. Unfortunately, things like heart issues, bloat, bone cancer, it can mean higher vet bills and potentially a shorter lifespan.
Ah, that's a serious consideration. The potential for heartbreak and high costs due to size-related health problems.
It absolutely is. Plus, being rare might mean they're harder to find from reputable sources and potentially more expensive initially.
So, Irish Wolfhounds. Exceptionally tall, gentle giants, good with families, moderate exercise, easy grooming, but potential for significant size-related health issues and associated costs, plus rarity.
That sums up the perspective presented.
Wow, okay. That's a great overview of specific breeds. But it sounds like choosing isn't just about picking a breed profile you like. There are bigger picture things you need to think about, right?
Absolutely. It moves beyond the breed list to factors about your life, your capability.
What's the first big one?
Energy levels. We touched on it with each breed, but you need to honestly assess your energy level and lifestyle. Don't get a German Shepherd if you're a couch potato hoping the dog will change you. Match the dog's typical energy to what you can realistically, consistently provide, day in, day out.
Right. Be honest with yourself. What else?
Space. Again, really consider your living situation. Do you have a yard? If not, are you really committed to multiple long walks and park visits every single day, rain or shine? More space is generally better for a large dog.
Okay. Energy match, space reality. What's next?
Lifetime costs. We keep saying it because it's crucial. Budgeting isn't just for food, it's for vet visits, routine and emergency, preventative meds, grooming, larger beds, bigger toys, maybe even a bigger car. It's a significant long-term financial commitment.
You really need to factor that in realistically before you even bring the dog home.
Absolutely. Then there's training needs. We discuss why it's essential for large dogs managing their size and strength, ensuring safety.
And that point about them not always knowing their own size.
Exactly. Training is how you teach them to navigate our world safely. It's not about dominance. It's about communication and setting boundaries so they don't accidentally cause chaos or injury with their enthusiasm or clumsiness. It requires time, consistency, and often, especially for first-timers, professional guidance from a good trainer.
Okay, so energy, space, cost, training. Is there one more factor?
Yes, and it's arguably the most important. Individual needs.
Meaning, not all dogs of the same breed are identical clones.
Precisely. Breed profiles are generalizations, tendencies. Every dog is an individual. They have their own personality, their own quirks, their own energy level within the breed standard.
So you can't just read about Bernese mountain dogs and assume the one you meet will be exactly like the description.
Right. You must meet the specific dog, spend time with them, see if their individual personality clicks with you and your family. Whether it's a puppy from a breeder or an adult from a rescue, that individual connection is key.
That makes so much sense. You're adopting that dog, not the breed standard on paper.
Exactly. It's about finding the right individual match.
So all these factors, energy, space, cost, training commitment, individual personality, they all have to align. It's like a complex equation you need to solve for your specific situation.
It really is. It's a holistic assessment. Do you have the time for a high-energy dog's exercise needs? Do you have the budget for a giant breed's food and vet bills? Do you have the patience and commitment for consistent training? Does this specific dog's temperament suit your family? It's about ensuring you can genuinely meet all the needs of the dog you choose.
It really moves it away from just, I like the look of that one, or small dogs are for beginners.
Completely. It's about responsible, informed decision-making based on compatibility.
Now, interestingly, even while making this case for big dogs, there's a quick mention of smaller breeds, right? Sort of a comparison point.
Yes, just a brief revisit. Mentioning breeds like Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, Bichon Frise, Yorkshire Terriers again.
And the main point of comparison is,
Lower maintenance in terms of space and food costs. Acknowledging the practical reasons why they're often recommended. Less physical footprint, lower food bills.
but then there's that little addition, something about what you might miss out on.
Right. The idea that smaller breeds may not have the same gentle giant charm.
That phrase again. So it's suggesting there's a qualitative difference in the companionship style, not just practicalities.
It seems to imply that the specific presence, the calm weight of a large, affectionate dog resting nearby, that particular blend of size and gentleness, is something uniquely characteristic of many of the larger breeds discussed.
So the choice isn't just about easy versus hard, but about the kind of connection and presence you're looking for.
That seems to be the underlying message. It values that gentle giant quality highly, presenting it as a worthwhile reward for the increased commitment required.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, challenging the default advice, looking at specific breeds, emphasizing the huge commitment but also the potential rewards. What's the final takeaway?
The core message is that choosing any dog, especially a large one, is a massive commitment. No doubt about it.
But it's possible to do it right, even first time.
Absolutely. With proper research, honest self-assessment, and thorough preparation like we've been discussing, you can find a wonderful large or giant breed companion even as a novice.
It reiterates that breeds like Goldens, Sant Bernards, Irish Wolfhounds can be great options.
If the owner is truly ready for what they entail, it keeps coming back to that preparedness.
And it reminds you one last time to consider.
Space, exercise needs, veterinary care costs. The practical pillars supporting responsible ownership of a large dog.
So ultimately, the best breed isn't a specific name.
No. The best breed is defined as the one that fits your lifestyle, your capabilities, and gives you that unconditional love, becoming your true best friend. It's entirely personal.
It puts the responsibility and the power back on the potential owner to make an informed, compatible choice, rather than just following a simple rule like start small.
Precisely. It's about finding your right match, understanding all the implications, and committing fully.
This has been really insightful. It really unpacks that common advice and shows there's a whole other side to consider, focusing on temperament and fit over just size.
And always grounded in the reality of the commitment. The gentle giant charm comes with gentle giant responsibilities.
Base, cost, training, the big three, and that point about them not knowing their own size really hammers home why training is so critical.
It does. It's about safety and living together harmoniously.
And that final definition of best dog, the one that fits your life, that feels like the most crucial point. It's not about the breed label nearly as much as the individual dog and your ability to meet its needs.
Exactly. It's about the relationship you build.
So think about that gentle giant charm we've discussed, and then weigh it against those significant commitments, the space, the cost, the essential training. What does that link between responsibility and the potential depth of bond with a large companion tell us? Does taking on more responsibility potentially lead to a different kind of connection? And how does focusing on finding a dog that fits your lifestyle completely change the game compared to just asking what's the easiest breed? Lots to chew on there.
Definitely food for thought for anyone considering bringing a dog, big or small, into their life.
Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time for more dog tips.